How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today we got chapter 29 of Phantom Seer, and I'm not gonna lie, it started off good as hell, quick as shit. So literally the very first panel, Iori is already opening up the doors to let Onyoki out. But, and a big but, the Puppet Master and Amelia both notice that something's kind of off, something's kind of wrong, and so do we, because all of a sudden you flip the page after seeing a little panel of him down at the bottom, and he is wearing Onyoki. Let me repeat myself. He is wearing Onyoki like a cloak and has a gigantic shadow sword and the big old white cloak, and he looks absolutely incredible. There's a double page spread of it. It's delicious. Absolutely delicious. So yeah, this chapter started off great. Unfortunately, it is immediately very hard for Iori to control. This is also something that the Puppet Master and Amelia notice. And the Puppet Master tries to tell him that. She's like, you already can't control this. She's like, you're probably going to get swallowed up by it. You know that, right? And he's like, I didn't really have a choice. Like, if I just let him out, he'd just kill all of my friends. So I kind of just have to do it. What do you want from me? Honestly. So the Puppet Master tries to attack him, and he just annihilates two huge-ass threads of rope with one swing. No problem, nothing. Like, this doll god does not stand a chance against Iori with the Onyoki cloak. By the way, if I didn't mention it before, that thing is badass. The Puppet Master actually kind of takes notice of the fact that Onyoki has arms. She looks really surprised and says, they're arms. So I wonder if you also notice something here in a little bit, we'll get more into it, but I wonder if she doesn't really want to work with Senju Doji so much. She's kind of like, oh, this guy's kind of like her, and he doesn't seem quite as scary. So yeah, we're going to get into that here in a little bit, but the arms that Onyoki creates, well, Iori creates with Onyoki, reach into the doll god and actually just grab every single one of the people. Grabs Kenma, Riku, and Kondo. And we're good. We got all our hostages back. And it was actually really awesome because he reaches in, pulls them all out, and catches all three of them right in a row, right on the big old flowing white cloak to his right. That was really awesome. Not gonna lie. Iori got style points for that one. So this is when we get the Puppet Master saying, well, he took him back. And Amelia immediately goes, oh, it's fine. We can take him back. And then Senju shows up and just morphs out of the Puppet Master's Senju Doji arm. Obviously. I mean, that isn't really that surprising considering it's her arm. So, yeah, she tells the Puppet Master to kill him, not surprisingly, but the Puppet Master doesn't really seem to be happy that Senju showed up. She seems to be very creeped out and kind of scared. Surprise wardrobe change. Yeah, I had to record this in two parts. If you weren't watching this and you were just listening to me talk about it, well, then that really wasn't much of a surprise for you, except for the fact that I said surprise. I don't know why I have to say all that for a wardrobe change, but I do. That's me. Anyway, not only does the Puppet Master have a not too terribly pleased look on her face that Senju's here, Iori obviously has a very, well, not really happy look on his face. He's more surprised than anything, honestly, at the moment. Actually, right after, because she just shows up and she's like, I'm gonna watch you die. It's Senju. What do you expect her to say? Same thing she's gonna say every time. The doll god is then told that it can open its mouth. And it does, and all of the same black filth from earlier starts pouring out, and Iori's told that he's going to be the target of this same black filth from earlier, and that's when Iori finally tells him, he's like, hey, the dolls don't need revenge. They just need to be exercised properly so they don't have to deal with that pain anymore. He goes, that's what I'm supposed to do. And he also starts telling him that Senju Doji is just a specter. There's no reasons that the dolls should be doing her bidding. That there's no purpose in that. None. And he's right, there is. Why would the dolls serve Senju? Other than the fact that Senju is just making them do her bidding. Through a contract, or, Senju could probably kill the Puppet Master or any other conceiving hand pretty quickly, considering they have one of her arms right there, and she could probably just... No, no. Like, I mean, honestly, she could probably hold a conceiving hand hostage very easily with that. So, yeah, Yori kind of makes the mistake of, well, I mean, I guess it's not entirely a mistake, and we'll get to that, but at the moment, before we get to the future, Yori makes the mistake of letting out more of the shadow to, I'm assuming, trying to hack this doll god to pieces very quickly and then move on to Senju. Unfortunately, the same thing starts happening that happened last time, and obviously Senju's gonna start talking shit about this. But I will say, while he started going berserk, Amelia told the puppet master, like, yo, back the doll god up. Like, put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse. Like, Yori was those fireworks that were right next to Terry while his little cousin was telling him to put it in reverse. If you have not seen that video, go look it up. It's hilarious. Just type in put it in reverse, Terry. I'm sure you'll find what I'm talking about. So, yeah, Amelia didn't want nothing to do with this, and I don't blame her at all. I wouldn't want nothing to do with that either. So, while he's going berserk, Senju's obviously going to start talking shit to him, and it looks like Yori's just getting swallowed whole by the shadow of Onyoki. And it was actually really cool. I just now noticed this a second ago and kind of refreshing right before doing this. You could kind of see the kind of back of Onyoki's head when you see the mass of shadows forming around Yori from the back. You can kind of see his head with his eyes from kind of the back angle and his horns going up. So I didn't notice that the first time. It was actually really cool how his head is on top. Like, it's him forming back around. Son of a bitch, I need to back up from that thing. It's him forming back around Yori and taking control of his body again. So that is a really nice touch that I like. It's not just an amorphous mass of shadow. It actually is Onyoki taking control. So I enjoyed that there was that detail there. But then we got Riku coming in with the save of the chapter using the exact same technique they used against Kanzuki, where she just shielded off the arm, but in this way, she's working with Yori. She's not going to have somebody take his arm out after sectioning off the arm. She's using the disintegration barrier to keep Onyoki's shadow limited to just his arm. That way the shadow can't possess Yori himself, yet he can still use at least a portion of its power. I'm going to assume and go out on a limb and say that if you are constantly disintegrating all but the arm shadow of Onyoki, you probably don't get to use as much of Onyoki's power. Just gonna put that out there. Like, I do think this does limit Yori from what we saw him doing previously with the Onyoki arm. I mean, it's still going to be very powerful. It's Onyoki's arm, and he was only really using the arm before, but he had the big old cloak, and it was over like half his body and half his face. Now it's literally like just the arm, and I think it was maybe like part of the foot or leg or something. But yeah, this is really neat because now Riku can just let the barrier move with Iori, so it doesn't hold him in place, and he can just fight to his heart's content with as much shadows as he can pump into that arm. So that's kind of OP a little bit when you consider how strong Onyoki is, and then you consider the fact that you can't always just take out Riku, especially if it's just the two of them, but luckily, or well, I guess I would say, hopefully, Kenma and Kondo will at least be able to be conscious enough to, try to protect her a little bit. Because if they are still unconscious and it's just Iori and Riku, I will say that is a little bit of a weakness. Like, you can just go around and just hit Riku. I don't think Iori can really fight off Amelia, Puppet Master, and Senju Doji, all while protecting Riku from all three of them if she can't really defend herself from somebody of that caliber, which I don't really think she can. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. Anyway, I really like that. It was really neat that it wasn't just explained as, oh, she's just disintegrating the Onyoki shadow as it tries to take over his body. No, they're using the exact same strategy they used previously in the series on Kanzuki to destroy his arm. But now they're using it to control Yori's. I love it. It was awesome. I didn't see that coming specifically. Really nice touch on that. Kind of call back to earlier. So yeah, he can now control that, and we get the nice little heartfelt moment of Riku telling him that, yeah, I'm not going to let Yori fight alone. And we have Yori saying that I learned from somebody in my past. I did learn from the past. That's why I believe in her. I believe she can help me fight. And she proves that she can. So that was a really nice moment, a really nice way to end the chapter. And we get another one. What is it? Yeah, April 4th. Next week. Alright? Yeah. Next week. Might be the end of Phantom Seer. Unfortunately, maybe. Yeah. Sounds like it's ending. But, hey. If a chapter comes out, I'm going to review it. I started reviewing it. I'm going to keep on reviewing it. Unless the series just absolutely goes to straight garbage. If I start reviewing it, that means I enjoy it and I like it enough to want to put that work into it. So unless it just takes a complete nosedive off the face of the earth of acceptability, I'm going to keep reviewing something, whether it gets canceled, where it doesn't, no matter what. Like I said, unless I just absolutely hate it for some reason, which I don't think I've ever enjoyed a series enough to want to be able to do something like this with it, and it ever doing something that I hated so much to where I'm like, no, hate it, worst ever, terrible. I've had some series go from real high to like mid-range and stuff, but I'm not super hard to please. And yeah, so obviously Phantom Seer is gonna please me. I love this series so far. Kind of wish that it wasn't probably getting canceled. But hey, you win some, you lose some. It is still honestly a pretty great time for Shonen Jump. One Piece is still going on. Bleach anime is, granted, this is not Shonen Jump specifically, but Bleach is a shonen series, and the anime is coming back to finish up. Jujutsu Kaisen has been absolutely insane. Kaiju number 8 is wonderful right now. Mashal is probably one of the funniest series I've ever read, and it's on like 40s, almost 50 maybe right now chapters, so it's still not too long, but it's absolutely hilarious. I'm only like 20 chapters in, and I've probably laughed extremely hard on almost every single chapter. It's great. Yeah, it's still a good time for Shonen Jump, with or without Phantom Seer. There's a bunch of other stuff I need to check out. I don't even know where I'm going with this. I'm kind of just rambling because, you know, the series is... Alright, everybody, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. I'm going to keep coming out with more anime content, hopefully, but definitely more manga content. I've been really focusing on that side, even though it's Fire Hunter anime. Ignore that last part. We're going to do a little more manga right now. So, like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'm going to be back. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. I'm out.